Hello, I'm this Akhier, and we've got some more Faeria. The ladder just reset, so if we go into play, I can't remember, where will I end up ranked? Because I didn't get very far. Yeah, back at rank 20. Okay. But that's not what I'm going to be doing today. Well, first of all, I'm going to go open some packs, because I got a couple for the season reset, so, hey, that's a thing. Boop, 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 boop. We already have one, so I'm gonna re-roll it. There we go, we got a new one. And a wave crash. That's a pretty decent one. And one more. I guess they're chests, not packs, but I'm just always gonna call them pack. No matter what game it is, if it's a card game. Okay, we already have one of those. Re-roll. And another boulder thrower. No problem. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Pandora. There's no practice on that. I am going to play Pandora. The actual thing. This will probably end up being a couple of videos, depending on how quickly I lose. Because there's always that. Blue, yellow, green. Interesting. Right away, we have some interesting choices. We've got a Piper, Callan's Follower, and a Ruby Fish. All these are okay cards. There's the Longhorn Jack, which I'm actually relatively tempted by, because it doesn't pin me down to any specific color, and it's a good early game choice. Ruby Fish is, of course, good for collecting a little bit of fairy early on. Follower is a good rush or late game option just because you can put it right near the enemy's god and attack them right away. And that's all it's good for, sadly. For something like this, I'm actually somewhat against them. Though that's just a personal opinion, I have not played enough Pandora to actually have a solid feel of it. And of course, Tiki Piper. Just give a creature +0/+4. That's pretty nice. It lets you make another creature a lot more survivable. Safeguard is an okay card, but compared to these other ones, and since I don't have any kind of thing to go with it, since the first pick, it's not something I can pick. I think because I don't want to get sold on any specific color yet, I'm going with the Longhorn Jack. Okay, now here we get to choose the color because there are some good ones here. The Gabrian Enchantment is pretty nice. A Demon Wing is tempting, but I think I'm going to go with the... Let's go with the Ancient Beastmaster. Stay that Forest Creation. That's pretty nice, but that costs 3 blue, and I'm a little against high land cost things for Pandora. Between these two, this is just get 2 fairy, and when it dies, your opponent gets 2. It's okay, but in this case, the random card is more tempting for me. Admittedly, they're both relatively expensive, so I'd like some cheaper cards, but that's just how it goes. Fairy Tree is interesting. Let's go with Fairy Tree. Okay, here we go. Tiki Healer, not my thing. Deepwood Grizzly or Ancient Beastmaster. I'm actually tempted by the Deepwood Grizzly, but the Ancient Beastmaster, since it's early on, if I pick this, it lets me choose my future cards better. Going for, like here, Living Willow. There's some other cards here, including a Water Elemental, which would be a good... This would be a good point where I could splash blue because of this, but I'm going for the Living Willow because we've already got 2 Ancient Beastmasters, and with that, that means this becomes, with just one of them out, a 2/8 taunt for 3. That's really nice. And we get a 3rd Ancient Beastmaster. At this point, I'm just going to choose it right up. This is a bit harder for me. We've got a Tiki Caretaker, and a Wood Elemental. The Queen Assassin is actually tempting as well, but at this point, the big thing is that this creates a forest, but it's got 4 for its toughness, which does not activate the Beastmaster. So if I'm going to go for something like that, I'm actually more on the side of the Tiki Caretaker, because that lets me pump something else. I think in this instance, I'm going to go with the Caretaker. Elderwood Embrace, that's really nice, but first let's look at... Okay, none of these are particularly tempting, so yeah, we're going with Elderwood Embrace. This is really, really, really nice. Teleport another creature you control, or creature to a forest you control. This is amazing. This is just, at any moment, any forest could suddenly have any of your creatures. Really, really nice. I can't state that enough. Now this is a bit hard. The urn is really nice. Draw cards and gain the fairy. Really convenient in the late game. Especially since you might end up with a hand with hardly any cards. Secret of Strength. This gives a creature a good boost, but I would never pick it over any kind of removal like this. This is a powerful, not that powerful, but it's a decent removal. In the end, though, I'm going for the utility of the urn. Okay, here we go. We're currently at a third in, and I could definitely choose to go blue at this point, and I'm actually relatively tempted because of the Triton Diver. And none of my creatures, or none of my choices so far have required a lot of forests. So I am very tempted to go Triton Diver, because neither of these, the dash is nice, but it's only a 4 strength, and the Diver would be a really convenient way to get Fairy. Ooh, this is a tough choice. I am also tempted by the Falcon Dive just to get some removal in the field, but Elderwood Embrace, we've got one already. I'm actually going... I'm going with the Deepwood Grizzly. It has better toughness, and just one of my Beastmasters on the field would make it have an equal amount of strength. Mind you, with the Beastmaster on the field, the other dude would have a higher strength, but that's not what I'm really looking at there. These are all cards, yes. I'm half tempted by the Storyteller, but the Sylvan Warrior is also nice. Draw 2 cards, gain 2 life. I'm going with the Sylvan Warrior because I've really been hitting that stuff hard. Okay, here we go. So a 3/8 for 5 or a 6/5 for 6. I'm actually not going to go for the Deepwood Grizzly here, even though I do like the higher defense. The fact that this has the ability to trigger the Ancient Beastmasters and at the same time have a really good attack is enough for me to choose it. Defender of the Homeland, it's cheap enough that you could just throw it out early game if you have to, but it's really convenient late game when someone gets something next to you, can get a couple of taunters on the field. Okay. I don't want Wave Crafter. Most of my creatures end up being a bit expensive. Apex Predator's interesting. It wouldn't get the buffs from the Ancient Beastmasters, but it would give a good bit of stuff. I'm also really liking the Cartographer and the Unlikely Hero. Cartographer is just a good early game thing, which will get you an Explore, which you can just keep around and use whenever needed. And the Unlikely Hero, it's like, I'd pick it over Farm Boy, but we're not giving a choice of farm board. I'm going with the Apex Predator just because it's any creatures. And also, yeah. Pretty good. Here, I'm half tempted by the Grove Guardian, but I'm going with the Tiki Totem. We are kind of doing the whole pump thing. This is actually a tough choice. We've got an Oak Father and a Prophet of Tides. The Oak Father is really nice because it can get a really big toughness, but the Prophet of Tides, while being small and not affected by a lot of my other stuff, moves a land twice, which can be used quite easily for a lot of things. It's a tough choice. I'm going with the Oak Father, so we have something beefy to put out if need be. This isn't actually that hard of a choice. These two are nice. This is a good early game thing for collecting Faeria, and later on transitions into being quite beefy itself. And this dude lets you pump others, but on the other... saying other again multiple times. But taking a look at the Gabrian Warden, its gift is give a creature protection. Any creature. And it has a high enough toughness. It is a bit expensive, but I'm going to go with it. There's Wild Growth. I am tempted by Wild Growth. It's a decent card to get your lands out quickly, but for something like this, especially since I'm not going for any high land cost things, like the most we have is the Apex Predator, I'm going to go with the Grove Guardian. It's expensive, relatively requiring 3 forests, but I think it'll be worth it. Here we're giving things as a choice. Flying, jump, and plus attack is nice. Dash, I'm not really partial to this one. It's so vanilla. But the Earthfire Shaker, it's a good clear for our weaker stuff. Just gonna go with it. Okay, now here we have a few choices. I'm going with Humbling Vision, because I don't have many things to deal with other people's stuff. What do I want? I'm actually partially Outland Ranger. If I wasn't going for the whole Beastmaster pumping thing right now, I might choose it, just because you get the campfire and it's got relatively okay stats for that cost. Not the best and definitely below standard, but getting the campfire means, well, campfire. +1/+1 for 1 is just a really convenient buff to have in hand. It would be more convenient if it was free. Okay, now Oakling. I'm really tempted to go Oakling. I have a lot of expensive creatures, so they're probably going to be chilling my hand a lot. And anytime any of those creatures get bigger, it makes the fairy cost that much more palatable. This is nice, but I'm not going for a heavy forest build. That's also another reason that this Oak Father, while nice, probably will not end up being as good, but it was the best choice I had at the time. So I'm going with the Oakling. Earthcraft is interesting. Sadly, we are not playing yellow, because I love Twin Soul and what it does. Weeping Idol is nice. And Siege Engine, really, really nice. But I'm going with Earthcraft. These all, like, any of them I would be willing to grab. The Siege Engine is a bit expensive, but it does its job really well. Cartographer, really good. Once you get the Explorer, as long as you get the last word off, that's basically 2 extra fairy, so it's like any of those other cards that have the thing where it dies, or you play it and you get fairy back. Weeping Idol, it's an interesting one. I wouldn't really play it, I must admit, because it's basically saying, hit me. And, yeah, no, not really something I like to do. But yeah, Earthcraft. Create a forest or a lake for 2. Going with that. It's controlled, which is really convenient. We've got another Grove Caller. This is nice. Wisdom, not as good as if I was playing Magic the Gathering, as I've found. Flashwind I can't afford. We've got a Gabrian Enchantress. Between the Grovecaller and the Enchantress, this is actually somewhat of a hard decision. Because, looking through our cards, very few of them end up being the ones that have the big attack, small defense. So, just like Deepwood Grizzly, playing out the Gabrian Enchantress, and suddenly it's an 8/8. It is just another creature, so you could easily target any kind of, like a 5/1 type of thing that you probably might play if they're doing red or other similar things. Do they have a 5/1? I think that's actually yellow that does that more. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at those cards as much. But the Grovecaller has nice right-away abilities. I think the thing that's deciding me here is the fact that this has 5 toughness, and so it activates the Beastmasters. Because both the abilities are worthwhile, and hey, Beastmaster. Like, if we're going to go that route, we might as well go that route. Water Elemental, create a lake is nice. The thing that makes me get it, though, is it has jump, which makes it worthwhile. Okay. This is a bit hard. We've got another Apex Predator. That is not in the running. At all. There's Mere Phantasm. This is probably what I'm going to go with. There's Eludian, which, well, just read it. It does good stuff. And there's Runan's Messenger, which is similar, except more targeted and has an actual thing it needs to do that's a little harder than this one. But Mere Phantasm, it's just utility of transforming another creature into 5/5 Mere Phantasm. Way too convenient and way to deal with other people's stuff, along with buffing your own as needed. Okay. About the only one I could see grabbing is the Soulbound. It has a pump on it, which I wouldn't really depend on, but it is nice. It does cost a bit, but then again, most of our cards have ended up more on the costly side of things. This one's nice. And we do have a few of those. Or, wait, it's 7? Yeah, no, we don't have enough of those. So yeah, Soulbound Sagami, right away. Not enough expensive stuff to do the other. Once again, we've got an Apex Predator. It really wants us to play those. Egg of Wonder is interesting. I'm not going to grab it. It's a little too random for me. Triton Chief, or Chef. It's Chef. Yeah, I think it's Chief. It's close enough. No. Triton Chef. Add a Triton Banquet to your hand. It's another one of those add a thing to your hand that's pretty nice to have. I think that's what? +1, +0, and jump? Or something like that. Maybe +1/+1 in general. I'm going with the Siege Engine. I'm just kind of partial to Siege Engines. It's one of the ranged attackers that I really like. And, of course, it's got enough toughness. Here we go with an interesting option. We've got Primeval Colossus, which is big. Okay, yeah, it was +1/+1. Go figure. And we've got another Enchantress. This is nice, but I'm not going to be playing that many special lands. Like, we will have 6. Maybe. Or, we will have 6 eventually, just so that we can use the Apex Predator once it comes up. Likely only once we draw it will we start really focusing on that. The Enchantress, though, as I said, a lot of our creatures have a decent toughness, so we'll go with it. This is a choice. I'm going with the Ocarina because I do like the just ability to get an extra turn. It's expensive, but we'll deal with that. And we'll start our first game. And I think I'm going to be splitting up the videos as I go, instead of just recording it all at once, but we'll see what happens. But at the very least, that first bit in this game will be in the same video, so that's a thing. Oh, that's interesting. None of these I want. I'm going to keep the Defender just so I have a creature I can play. And yeah, that's going to be needed. That's inconvenient. We do get the Explore, but I will not be using it. Or wait, Rush. Let's see what you do. You don't have an Explore, so it's a little weird that you're just rushing like that. What do we draw? We draw an Ancient Beastmaster. Whatever, we're going to need the fairy to do stuff. Let's throw it out there and see what they do. We do have like 4 of them in the deck. I'm obviously not responding the best I could to a rush deck, but I didn't have a good hand to start with against a rush deck. Plus, I haven't really looked how to defeat a rush deck, so we'll see what happens. And yes, you're playing exactly what I expected. Come on, playing card. Flying, 3/4, can't harvest fairy. Okay. Oak Father. We could actually play the Oak Father. Huh. I'm gonna go for that. There we go. 7/9. Okay, you put a thing there, that's kind of annoying. Haste. Yep. You're doing your thing, whatever. And then presence, that actually isn't good for me at the moment. Doesn't reduce the cost of the creature. I'm going to explore. We're going to play Presence, just so I know what I get out of it. Spirit of Rebirth, that's cool. Besides that... There we go. Though I will be using my Oak Father on it. This is just to get the most out of that. Depending on what he plays. Oh, nope, he's going up and going for that. Okay. Dash, +3 against gods. That's a thing? Okay, and you're going with the destroy creature, get something better. Yeah. I have a Tiki Caretaker, which... Yeah. That's dead. That's dead. What do you play? Oh, nothing. Okay, good. Land up there, just so we have 2 islands. Here we go. And soon enough, we'll be able to break through the side over here and get some lands out. That'll be nice. We're at the point where we can start prairie spamming. Okay. Move, jump, move a creature you control as a gift. And you can jump. Okay. And you play in a farm, dude. That happens. Let's see what we draw. Soul Pact. Okay, no. You're still gonna do more? Okay. Pandora Shard. That'd be useful. Oakling. I like that. That up. Boom. I'm actually going to use that on it. That and put that up there. A 2/6. It's not a lot of damage, but it is some damage. We'll see how it goes. I'm mostly moving the Beastmaster upwards so that he's not in the range of fire. Oh, nope, he's gonna die. Oh, wait, no, right. That would be a better target, wouldn't it? A 1/2? That's decent enough, I guess. But why you... Okay, whatever. Pandora Awakens, what do we get? Glad it's on my turn. Ocarina. Can't do much about that. Yeah, don't really have a reason to do anything to it. Huh, that's actually really interesting. You move up there and take to the face. We're gonna throw that there, and throw that up there. Gets bigger, and boom. And next turn, we'll get 6 more fairy, 1 from the wheel, and we get an ocarina. Meaning, if he doesn't get rid of the Spirit of Rebirth, it's my game. And so his rush will fail against me. Yep, you're getting all that stuff around you, dude. That's good. It's mana, face, ocarina, face, bam, and that's the game. Reward 30, trigger any other things, and with that, yeah, it's a good 30 minutes, so I think I'll end the video here. Next one I'll pick up on the next match. Anyway, links and stuff will be in the description, and just in general, I'm Akhier, and I'm signing